right, Ayanna Pressley is the latest to jump on the how can we help out non-Americans more than our own constituents bandwagon.
Mesa Ozturk is my constituent, to hold them accountable, to demand answers. Why the hell are they here? Why were they kidnapped and disappeared in broad daylight when they have been convicted of no crimes? So we're here for answers, and we're also here for accountability.
First off, this person is no longer your constituent, and they weren't disappeared. They were arrested. You know, and lady, to meet the definition of constituent, they have to either live or vote in your district. And since Rumasia Ozturk, or whatever her name is, had her visa revoked and was not released on bail, and I'm quoting from the judge, because she was a flight risk and a, quote, danger to the community. Therefore, she doesn't live in your district anymore. And because she's not a citizen, never could vote there despite your request to allow that. So maybe, perhaps, instead of trying to claw back anti-American, pro-Hamas activists that are enjoying our universities under our gracious scholarship programs that are paid for by my tax dollars, who then protest our positions and our flag and our allies, you, Congresswoman, U.S. Congresswoman, should be actually worried about your constituents who are being murdered in your district, like 38-year-old Joshua Cooley, who was killed last year. I can't find any mention of them on your social and your ever-so-vocal social media accounts. Ayanna Pressley is instead protesting the conditions at which this woman is being held in. She's claiming that they're very unsanitary, unsafe, and inhumane. Really? Didn't hear a peep out of her when American citizens were being held in solitary confinement without trial for months and even years after January 6th. Some of which were ushered into the Capitol by police officers, 70-year-old women. They committed no crimes, and most of these people had their charges dropped even before Trump pardoned the remaining ones. I don't understand the logic here. Most Americans are probably with me on this. I don't get it. And then you got David Hogg, who's the DNC vice chair. We talked about him yesterday. He was on late night TV last night and again went to defend the wife-beating El Salvadorian gangbanger.
Let me push back against that. Okay. This was not an MS-13 gang member, and you damn well know that. We are a land of law and order, and this administration is repeatedly showing time and time again they do not care about what the Supreme Court says. They do not care about the rule of law, and you cannot defend sending people to another country.
He is an MS-13 gang member. But, I mean, David, if we're the land of law and order, you want to go there with your skinny little arms? Where were you on the BLM riots that caused $2 billion worth of damage to innocent people's homes and businesses? Your party's vice presidential candidate at the time, who was Kamala Harris, bailed those people out of jail. None of the left's arguments stand up to any scrutiny, which is why you saw them shift from, oh, the Maryland dad, to the, well, now we just want due process. This is so ironic because they never cared about due process for the hashtag Me Too movement. And the irony behind that is that hashtag symbol in front of that, most of the population knows that as a pound sign. So pound Me Too movement. Great job with that one, guys. I mean, who came up with that? Oh, and the believe all women. We're supposed to believe Christine Blasey Ford over Brett Kavanaugh when he had actual documentation to refute all of her claims. She couldn't even name what happened or when it happened, just like vague generalities that he was a serial rapist or whatever, and not a single specific detail. That the second, by the way, he was confirmed, mysteriously just vanished from headlines. David Hogg didn't care about that. You guys didn't give a darn about due process when the due process came due for the January 6ers. One of David Hogg's favorite, red flag laws. David Hogg wants the G-man to be able to take your guns without a hearing because some random person, sometimes anonymously, might make a complaint about you and with no basis whatsoever. And then the G-man takes your guns? I mean, that sounds super due process-y to me. How about cancel culture? Your party destroys people's lives, crashes their businesses, makes people lose their jobs because they may or may not have said something that you disagree with. Hashtag First Amendment. But the best part, the most ironic thing, I cannot express to you how absolutely insane this is, that not a single Democrat pulled any of these stunts that they're pulling now under Barack Obama when he deported 8 million illegal immigrants. There was no ACLU hearings, no Supreme Court injunctions, no AOC in white designer jumpsuits fake crying in front of an empty immigration facility. None of that. While Obama was he was just slapping people on planes, trains, and automobiles to boot illegal immigrants out of the country. They called him the deporter-in-chief. No, nothing, crickets. But now Trump slaps a few gang members on flights to El Salvador. All of a sudden, the liberals freak out. I mean, spare me your crocodile tears, you phony partisan hacks. None of these people gave a hoot when Barack Obama was drone striking people in his bathroom, sipping chai tea in the White House. One of those people that he killed by a drone strike was an American citizen. No outrage from the Democrat Party. I mean, maybe there was a little bit. One congressional, I mean, it's like unbelievable. Now Democrats are even going down to El Salvador to get one of these guys back. One congressional Democrat, Maxine Dexter, remember her?
I don't swear in public very well, but we have to Trump.
Okay, well, that woman, she's basically says that she's not leaving El Salvador until she gets the gangbanger back.
Better stay.
We cannot stay silent. We must stay loud. I am here because I refuse to wait for something to happen. We are here to release Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Nobody even knew who you were. Like, okay, I guess get comfortable down there, lady, because the president of El Salvador, he said that he's not releasing this guy because their government also considers him a gang member. Like, sorry, not sorry. Enjoy the rainforest. They're down there now demanding daily proof of life. Like, who do these people think they are? What a bunch of self-righteous non-factors. None of them cared this much when Americans were detained overseas, but this guy? Okay. They're now part of some, like, international super righteous emissary to dictate foreign policy to other governments and countries. Good luck. And after the Dems tried to charge Mike Flynn with the Logan Act, all he did was speak to the Russian ambassador while he was on the transition team. They do that. Then they're going around just demanding other governments do what they want, when they want it, how they want it, in a complete opposition to the Trump administration, which is actually in charge. Just so you know, individual members of Congress have absolutely no say or even jurisdiction or the right to dictate or promise foreign policy to foreign nations in any type of negotiation. The congressional body as a whole can vote on trade policies and treaties and other stuff like that, but no one congressman is authorized to negotiate with foreign countries like the president is. And if they're undermining it, it's by definition a violation of the Logan Act, which they've only charged 2 people with ever, and nobody's been convicted of it. They just used it to hammer Mike Flynn. The Logan Act clearly states, quote, bars U.S. citizens from engaging in certain communications with foreign governments without the authority of the United States. They don't have the authority. And now Democrats are headed to Denmark to backpedal on Trump's attempts to co-opt Greenland. It's bipartisan. They have one California Republican, so it's not bipartisan. They're literally working in direct opposition to our chief ambassador, which is the president of the United States. Like, Pam Bondi, let's do some stuff here. I don't care if these Dems, they want to protest all they want, whine and cry and send out fundraising emails from conflicted judges' daughters as their consultant. But when you start undermining America, like General Milley did, where he promised to warn China if Trump intended to do anything, you've got Democrats telling Zelensky, telling him that we're going to do all kinds of stuff behind the scenes and don't worry about Trump. They have no authority to commit to that. They're going to England to try to undermine Trump's new trade deal that's trying to bring England free speech, by the way, as well as even trade policies. This is what the Logan Act was for, and it's never been prosecuted because nobody was ever crazy enough to do anything until now. This is what it's here for. And all you have to do is charge one of them, and the rest of these people will just shut up and go away because they're globetrotting. They're undermining what the majority of America voted for, screaming that Trump is causing actual chaos. But they're the ones causing the chaos. And you know for a fact, if Republicans were doing what Democrats are doing right now, they would throw the book at them, just like they did with Mike Flynn. Maybe it's time for some perp walks.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right. He hates the bad guys. He's a freedom warrior. He's your freedom warrior. Watch Carl Higbie every weekday on Newsmax.